Hi, today what we're going to make is butternut squash soup with sweet potato. And there's a few things I want to cover before we start. First of all, as you notice, I prep everything before I do these videos because I want to make them as short as I can, and if you have any questions, you always can email, call, whatever you need to do. And anyway, so the first thing I want to talk about is, remember, cooking is not a science, it's an art, unless you're baking, and that's a little different. And I want to give you a little example about that. Don't get too hung up on the amounts and the ingredients. So, this is a can of tomato sauce, very typical size can. It's 14.5 ounces. Most all tomato sauce is put in a 14.5 ounce can. When I was younger and first learning how to cook, the recipe called for 12 ounces. And I took this can and I measured exactly 12 ounces and I had 2.5 ounces left. And I saved it in the refrigerator, which of course it went bad. I didn't really think, what am I thinking? I can just put the whole thing in. It's not going to change it any. And it doesn't. So, same with the butternut squash soup. So here I go. Now, I've already prepared onions and garlic, and that's the beginning of most any good soup. Right here, okay? 2 teaspoons of olive oil, 1 to 2, because this is kind of a skinny soup. And I put about 6 cloves of garlic. But you know, if you don't like garlic, don't put it in. If you want more, put more in. And then 1 onion about this size chopped, okay? So, cooked it up, it's soft, and I'm just gonna put in all the ingredients. So right now, I'm putting in a chopped, I'm putting in a chopped sweet potato. Here we go. About that big, 1 sweet potato. And the reason I put a sweet potato in is, for some reason, just over the years of me making this, I found that it just gives it more creaminess, and I really like it. Now, this is 2 pounds of pre-chopped butternut squash. And I can find this where I live, and I'm telling you, I love it. Because these things they can be tough to wrangle with. Now, the best thing I would do is I would just chop. If you're going to deal with a whole one, you can either peel it and take all the seeds out and chop it, or you can just cut it in half, take the seeds out, get a pan like this and lay it face down, cook it at 400 till tender, probably about 40 minutes. And then just scoop it out and put it all in here. Now, I've got the potatoes, I've got the squash, and now I'm going to put 2 containers of chicken stock, and these are 32 fluid ounces, okay? So that's 4 cups. So I might as well do this together. Now, if you want to make this vegetarian, it's so easy. Use chicken stock. You can even use water. Use vegetarian stock. You can even use water if you want to. Okay, now, this is where a little bit of fun comes in with this kind of soup. Now, well, obviously I don't make my recipes in a professional kitchen because, or a professional studio, because I had to take a phone call. Sorry about that. But here is where the fun begins. So, what I do is, there's 2 ways I make this. One, I make with thyme and sage, and that gives it more of a Thanksgiving feeling. So I do about a teaspoon each of thyme and fresh thyme and sage. And if you're going to do dry, do about a half teaspoon of sage, half teaspoon of thyme. I put that in, and it is ready to go. Now, I may put a little bit of nutmeg, but I don't know. Now, the second way I make it is with ginger, and it's a completely different feeling. The thyme and nutmeg, definitely a Thanksgiving kind of feeling. The ginger, it's more it's got a bite, and it's a little bit more Asian-y flavor, but it is delicious. So, I take about this much about this much ginger. That's quite a bit. I peel it, and then I grate it in here. And then I'll take a whole nutmeg. I won't use a whole nutmeg because this stuff is potent. And I'll just do probably maybe a 1/4 teaspoon at the very most into the soup pot and let it cook. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, I'm going to boil it up, and I'm going to get it all soft, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to finish it off and then how to pump it up with some protein. So I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. I just took this off the stovetop, and I've been blending it a bit with my stick immersion blender, which I love. And I'm going to keep blending this. And I'm going to make it nice and smooth. Now, if you want a little chunkier soup, just don't blend it as much. Now, this soup's about 50 calories a cup. And then what I do is I add a little Greek yogurt and I will oomph up the protein. So I'll have like, let's see, this is about a half cup ladle. So I'm going to go with, that's about a cup. That's a pretty good serving. And then sometimes I'll just take a big half cup. This is actually a third of a cup, so just a little bit more. There we go. And I will have a bowl of soup like this. This is 10 grams of protein once you have the yogurt. And if you start stirring it slowly and blending the Greek yogurt with the hot soup, you end up getting this just kind of creamy, rich, yummy soup. And I love it. I serve it to all my friends. They love it. And I hope you do too. And then salt and pepper to taste. And for your recipe, it's attached here on the newsletter, or you can get it on our Facebook page. So anyway, thank you. I hope you have some butternut squash soup this season, and until next time.